You have 20 Azure SQL databases provisioned by using the vCore purchasing model. You plan to create an Azure SQL database elastic pool and add the 20 databases. Which 3 metrics should you use to size the elastic pool to meet the demands of your workload? A. Total size of all the databases. B. Geo-replication support. C. Number of concurrently peaking databases. Peak CPU utilization per database. D. Maximum number of concurrent sessions for all the databases. E. Total number of databases. Average CPU utilization per database. The correct choices are A, C, and D. A. Total size of all the databases. C. Number of concurrently peaking databases. Peak CPU utilization per database. E. Total number of databases. Average CPU utilization per database. You have an Azure SQL database that contains a table named Fact Sales. It has 6 billion rows and is loaded nightly by using a batch process. You must provide the greatest reduction in space for the database and maximize performance. Which type of compression provides the greatest space reduction for the database? A. Page compression. B. Row compression. C. Column store compression. D. Column store archival compression. The correct answer is D. D. Column store archival compression. You have Microsoft SQL Server 2019 database named DB1 that uses the following database level and instance level features: clustered column store indexes, automatic tuning, change tracking, and polybase. You plan to migrate DB1 to an Azure SQL database. What feature should be removed or replaced before DB1 can be migrated? A. Clustered column store indexes. B. Polybase. C. Change tracking. D. Automatic tuning. The correct answer is B. B. Polybase. You have Microsoft SQL Server 2019 instance in an on-premises data center. The instance contains a 4 TB database named DB1. You plan to migrate DB1 to an Azure SQL database managed instance. What should you use to minimize downtime and data loss during the migration? A. Distributed availability groups. B. Database mirroring. C. Always on availability group. D. Azure Database Migration Service. The correct answer is D. Azure Database Migration Service. You are designing a streaming data solution that will ingest variable volumes of data. You need to ensure that you can change the partition count after creation. Which service should you use to ingest the data? A. Azure Event Hubs Standard. B. Azure Stream Analytics. C. Azure Data Factory. D. Azure Event Hubs Dedicated. The correct answer is D. Azure Event Hubs Dedicated. You have an Azure Synapse Analytics Apache Spark pool named Pool 1. You plan to load JSON files from an Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 container into the tables in Pool 1. The structure and data types vary by file. You need to load the files into the tables. The solution must maintain the source data types. What should you do? A. Load the data by using PySpark. B. Load the data by using the OpenBrowser Transact SQL command in an Azure Synapse Analytics Serverless SQL pool. C. Use a get metadata activity in Azure Data Factory. D. Use a conditional split transformation in an Azure Synapse data flow. The correct answer is A. The choice is A. Load the data by using PySpark. You are designing a date dimension table in an Azure Synapse Analytics dedicated SQL pool. The date dimension table will be used by all the fact tables. Which distribution type should you recommend to minimize data movement? A. Hash. B. Replicate. C. Round robin. The correct answer is B. B. Replicate. You have an Azure Synapse Analytics workspace named WS1 that contains an Apache Spark pool named Pool 1. You plan to create a database named DB1 in Pool 1. You need to ensure that when tables are created in DB1, the tables are available automatically as external tables to the built-in serverless SQL pool. Which format should you use for the tables in DB1? A. JSON, B. CSV, C. Parquet, D. ORC. The correct answer is C. You can use Parquet. You are designing an anomaly detection solution for streaming data from an Azure IoT hub. The solution must meet the following requirements. Send the output to an Azure Synapse. Identify spikes and dips in time series data. Minimize development and configuration effort. Which should you include in the solution? A. Azure SQL database, B. Azure Databricks, C. Azure Stream Analytics. The correct answer is C. Azure Stream Analytics can be used. You are creating a new notebook in Azure Databricks that will support R as the primary language but will also support Scala and SQL. Which switch should you use to switch between languages? A. \language, B. %language, C. \language, D. @language. The correct answer is B. You should use %language.